How will the U.S. destroyers and strike group face the Venezuelan military and the cartels? We will take a look at different scenarios and strategies from both sides. The U.S. Navy's destroyers, submarines, amphibious ships, marines, and P-8 Poseidon aircraft are positioned near Venezuela with a multifaceted strategy designed to confront both the Venezuelan military and the powerful drug cartels operating within the country. From the U.S. perspective, the operation combines overwhelming surveillance, targeted strikes, rapid amphibious assaults, and maritime interdiction to neutralize threats and apply pressure on the Maduro regime. The destroyers provide advanced air, sea, and missile defenses while maintaining the capability to launch precision cruise missile strikes against strategic government and military targets deep within Venezuela. By maintaining a vigilant missile defense posture, these ships are prepared to intercept any hostile air or missile threats. They also leverage anti-submarine warfare assets to secure the task group's maritime perimeter against underwater threats posed by Venezuelan naval forces. In surface combat, the destroyers defend against militia boats or Venezuelan naval vessels trying to disrupt blockades or amphibious operations. As the name suggests, destroyer, it is equipped to carry around 90 missiles with this vertical launching system, a Mark 45 deck gun position at the front, followed by close combat phalanx and a C-RAM missile system. But that's not all. It also houses Harpoon anti-ship missiles and torpedo tubes for threats underneath. And if that's not enough, there's a submarine hunter-killer Seahawk equipped with sonar and torpedoes featured in the upcoming video. These warships are designed for destruction and defense, but they are not suitable for invasion. But how do you launch a land invasion from the seas? The answer is these amphibious assault ships are specialized warships designed to deploy and support ground forces during military operations, particularly in hostile or contested environments. They resemble small aircraft carriers but are primarily focused on launching and supporting helicopters, vertical or short takeoff and landing VTOL aircraft like the MV-22 Osprey and F-35B Lightning, and amphibious landing craft. The amphibious ships carry thousands of Marines trained for quick expeditionary raids and large-scale amphibious assaults. These Marines would execute precision strikes on cartel strongholds, government command centers, or key coastal infrastructure. Their urban combat training equips them to seize airports, communication hubs, and other critical points, potentially working in concert with opposition forces inside Venezuela. Here comes the nuclear-powered attack submarine operates covertly and silently along Venezuela's maritime approaches. It collects vital intelligence by intercepting communications and monitoring naval activity. It can deliver surprise, long-range missile strikes to disrupt regime command and control, jam air defenses, or destroy military facilities. Its presence also deters any third-party naval reinforcements from countries like Russia or Iran, complicating any attempt to bolster the Maduro regime. The P-8 Poseidon aircraft extend the task force's eyes and ears over a vast area. They conduct continuous intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance flights deep into Venezuelan airspace and waters, tracking air defense installations, military movements, and cartel smuggling operations. These aircraft work closely with surface and underwater naval assets to designate targets for missile strikes and monitor submarine activity. They are also capable of electronic warfare operations to disrupt Venezuelan communications and command networks, limiting the regime's operational responsiveness. But why is a single submarine a huge threat to an entire navy? The answer is these torpedoes. So let's take a look at how it works. Pressurized air propels the torpedo toward its target. Step number 2. A piston engine with propellers maximizes the torpedo's speed. Step number 3. It trails a wire plugged into the weapons systems aboard the sub using data to navigate. Step number 4. The torpedo accelerates to 32 knots over 35 miles an hour with a range of 8 miles or 12 kilometers. Step number 5. As it nears its target, the wire is cut and its sonar takes over navigation. Step number 6. If a torpedo misses its target, it can circle back and starts hunting the target with its sonar. This one torpedo has the explosive power of 1,200 pounds of TNT, and I guess you do not want to be at the receiving end of this weapon. But reports suggest that new breed of Barracuda torpedo or supercavitating are going to be the latest upgrades. But how would Venezuela's counter the U.S. command of the seas? Well, the military and cartels prepare to defend the regime and preserve their control through a mix of conventional and asymmetric tactics. The Venezuelan military, although smaller and technologically less advanced, relies on knowledge of local geography, layered air defense sites, and large-scale militia mobilization, reportedly numbering over 4.5 million, to counter amphibious assaults and defend key infrastructure. The military employs coastal and naval patrols to challenge U.S. naval operations and uses missile systems to threaten incoming aircraft and ships. The Venezuelan cartels, deeply intertwined with some military elements, use their familiarity with the terrain, fast boats, and smuggling networks to complicate maritime interdiction. Their tactics include evading surveillance through irregular routes, blending with civilian traffic, and leveraging the dense jungle terrain for cover against raids. Thus, the likely conflict scenario involves layered U.S. efforts to monitor and interdict cartel trafficking by leveraging aerial surveillance and naval interdiction, combined with submarine strikes and missile attacks against regime military infrastructure to degrade their response capability. While U.S. amphibious forces would act decisively to seize strategic points, suppress resistance, and isolate Maduro's loyalist elements, this is how Venezuela would mount a hybrid defense combining conventional military resistance, local militia networks for asymmetric warfare, and cartel tactics to sustain illicit operations and slow U.S. advances. This complex confrontation reflects both sides' strategic priorities. The U.S. pushes to dismantle narcotics networks and exert regime change pressure with overwhelming technological and tactical superiority, while Venezuela relies on numerical militia mobilization, intimate knowledge of the terrain, and asymmetric tactics to counterbalance its technological and firepower disadvantage. And finally, here comes Russia. Russia is likely to supply Venezuela with long-range drones like the Shahed and Geran drones. The drones could be deployed by Venezuela for covert strikes against U.S. assets, leveraging their loitering capabilities to conduct precision attacks on airfields, command centers, or logistics hubs. This would be part of a broader strategy to counter U.S. military pressure and project asymmetric threat capabilities. As you watch this, data brokers may be collecting and selling your personal information, your home address, phone number, online searches, and even financial details. This data doesn't just result in spam calls and scam attempts. It can also affect your personal credit score, as scammers may manipulate your data, potentially leading to a loan denial. That's where Incogni comes in to protect your privacy. The service scans the web for exposed data, sends automated removal requests, and continuously follows up to ensure your information stays deleted. It also performs regular scans to prevent data brokers from sneaking your information back into circulation, all while providing you with a clear, real-time dashboard to track your data. So take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code AITELI with the link below, incogni.com/AITELI, and get 60% off on an annual plan. But the U.S. Navy also has a strike group, so let's take a close look at how they work. The frigate, the destroyer, and the cruiser. But what sets them apart? The frigate, being the smallest of the trio, carries fewer weapons and less sophisticated electronic sensors than its larger counterparts, the destroyer and cruiser. On the other hand, cruisers play a pivotal role as the shield of the fleet. They surpass destroyers in size, accommodating additional command and control facilities, enhancing their strategic capabilities. Positioned between the frigate and cruiser, destroyers stand out for their impressive speed, measuring 505 feet in length, equivalent to 153.92 meters, and boasting a breadth of approximately 59 feet or 18 meters. To help us understand its size better, a destroyer can be visualized as spanning around 6 tennis courts stacked opposite each other. Even better, this is how it looks like when it is stationed against an aircraft carrier. As you can see, the destroyer sits pretty low compared to other warships. In other words, it looks pretty lean and mean. Moreover, these vessels weigh a staggering 9,000 long tons, nearly equivalent to the combined weight of 900 school buses. But how do these destroyers fight against drones and small, fast boats? First, let's take a look at how these massive guns works. The ammunition shuttle travels towards the lower ammunition hoist. The ammunition hoist lifts the shell toward the 20-round loader. A tray that carries both the shell and the propellant turns 90 degrees and pushes them into the gun barrel. When ready, the gun fires. Together, these 4 integral components form a seamlessly integrated system that can spit out 10 to 16 rounds per minute. The shell case ejector, a vital mechanism, efficiently expels spent shell cases after each firing of the powerful 127mm gun through this side of the weapon. The shell can travel to around 24 kilometers, which translates to around 14 miles from the US destroyer towards the enemy target. If that doesn't work against small targets, then this is another close-in weapon system, the CRAM. If the preceding method proves ineffective against small targets, another close-in weapon system, the CRAM, comes into play. The CRAM integrates the radar and electro-optical system of the Phalanx, but this bad boy alone packs an 11-cell RAM launcher that can be reloaded, thus creating an autonomous system that can engage threats without relying on external information. Within the CRAM is the RIM-116 rolling airframe missile equipped with an infrared homing device. This small, lightweight infrared homing surface-to-air missile is specifically designed for engaging subsonic missile, such as the Soviet-era P-15 re-engineered by Iran, which maneuvers in close proximity to the oceans to evade radar. The CRAM defense system activates in such scenarios, destroying anything within a 6-mile radius with a 90% hit accuracy. We also make original engineering content, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos.